Arc Raiders was one of the most anticipated video games of all time. Okay, that was a lie, but people were hyped. So hyped, in fact, that Arc Raiders had 700,000 concurrent players at launch and 900,000 at its peak in January. This massive audience that the studio was able to amass in such a short amount of time was due to streamers.
I downed him. The Tempest. Last guy. Problem!
I mean, cracked.
Yeah.
More. New team. I'm dead.
Oh my.
Which, funny enough, is also the reason why this game struggles to reach 100,000 concurrent players on a daily basis. That's right, streamers. That very reason people took a chance in this game in the first place is the same reason why people are not playing the game anymore. But before we talk about what went wrong with Arc Raiders, let's talk about what went right with Arc Raiders. On November 15th of 2025, the extraction shooter online world Finanza thing community was shaken up with the release of Arc Raiders, and I mean shaken up. The extraction fan base was over the moon. It was all over YouTube. It was all over everywhere. If you were a gamer, you knew that Arc Raiders was coming out. Even me, I have no prior extraction shooter knowledge, and I knew this shit was coming out. I knew it was a big deal. But why? Why did people even care about Arc Raiders in the first place?
Streamers.
You see, Arc Raiders wasn't developed by some big company like EA. Arc Raiders was developed by Embark Studios, a much smaller scale company with a lot less money. So when you're trying to develop a big AAA game, but nobody cares about your game or your company, what do you do? Who do you go to? Hey Ninja, I'll give you $10,000 to play and advertise my game for a couple of hours on your stream. Cool? Okay, great. Embark Studios paid roughly $1 million in sponsorships to thousands of creators to play their game on stream. And the fact that I'm sitting here talking about Arc Raiders means it worked. But maybe their method worked a little too good. The hype Arc Raiders received is beyond me. I mean, I've been a pretty hardcore gamer for quite a long time now, and I've seen a lot of game launches. Nothing like this, however. I don't think I've seen this hype of a launch since Fortnite. Not even joking. I mean, everybody was talking about Arc Raiders to the point where I felt obligated that I had to play this game, and I didn't even like extraction shooters. And after dumping 100 of my own hours into this game, I could confidently say pretty decent game. But like most games, it had its flaws, and the flaws Arc Raiders had were pretty big. They were pretty big boo-boos. To Embark Studios, Arc Raiders was envisioned to be a cooperative survival game, where the objective is to team up with random players and take down all these objectives, do all these games events with optional conflict. Meaning Embark Studios made this game envisioning that players would work together for a common goal. Gamers work together for a common goal. When have we ever seen that? All jokes aside, when a game blows up as big as Arc Raiders did, you're gonna have to make some updates to the game. People play the game a lot. You have all these people playing this game for ungodly amount of hours. People are gonna find flaws, people are gonna find bugs, people are gonna find glitches, people are gonna find guns that shred and do so much damage, or trigger nades that are absolutely broken, and I don't understand why they're still an item and why they're so easy to make. But the game has flaws, and it's April of 2026, and these flaws have not been fixed.
Huh?
Is that a cat? There was a cat. Did you guys hear that? But anyways, when you have all these flaws and you have such a large scale audience, that can't stay. So what do you do when this cat keeps on... hold on. There is a cat in my room now. It's rolling on the floor now. I'm gonna pet it now. He's being really cute right now. Maybe I'll take some photos and I'll put it on the camera. So this is what I'm seeing. He's not leaving my room. Oh, you're not even my cat.
I love you.
Oh, there's a cat on me now. There he is. Hey, buddy. I don't know the protocol for this. You see, this is my first YouTube video. I feel like I haven't broken that ice yet. This is my first YouTube video. Hello. This kitty is so cute. He's like vibrating. Why do cats vibrate? I kind of want to continue my video now. What was it on? Arc Raiders? Why are we talking about Arc Raiders? That game is dead. Anyways, when you have all of these people that are looking at your game, that are interested in your game, and they want to play your game more, and they're passionate about your game, and you have all of these flaws in the game, how do you decide what decision to make? Who do you listen to? I can tell you what not to do, and that's whatever the hell Embark Studios did. Embark Studios instead preferred the streamers' opinions over 99% of their fan base, and the game turned. The game made a turn. I'm sorry, it's really hard to focus. Like, this is really cute. This is like a bonding moment. Aww. He's just so content. Like I was saying, streamers make a living off of playing games. And when you play those games over and over again, you naturally form your own opinions about it.
This is like better than Tarkov, easier to get into. It's not complicated, but it's also not super simple.
3 hours later.
I'm gonna say, you want to make this game casual. Dude, I used to be this like Nazi when it was like, oh, bro, cater to professional players, you cater to a good game. Like, it'll balance out the game. It's actually just not fucking true, dude. You cater to the fucking casuals. Pro play is secondary.
And those opinions that you spew out really hold a lot of weight, especially to your younger audience, which is a big majority of the Arc Raiders fan base. You okay? So if you have like your role model streamer saying all these things about the game can feel as though that the audience wants something that the developers are trying to stray away from, in a sense. It isn't a secret that the developers have a subtle system of punishing players for being a little bit too aggressive in PvP, as the game is a PvPvE game. So it's quite interesting how the course of action Embark Studios took after being placed upon this situation, because I feel as though that a situation like this would require maximum attention to your company and be like, all right, we gotta dial in here. This is important. But instead, they don't add anything to the game. No updates, and when they do update the game, it feels stale. Nobody wants to play that Hurricane event. That no one liked that. That was unfun. All people want to do is free kit Stella Montes and shoot the first people on site, and I can't blame the player base for wanting to do that, because that's what the game was hyped around to be. It was an extraction shooter where you had all these robots they had to fight, but the most important thing was the optional conflict, and everybody loved fighting because the biggest streamers strictly fought people. And that sort of division in the community between PvE and PvP can really harm a multiplayer shooter, extraction shooter like Arc Raiders. It's different if this was World of Warcraft, an MMORPG with different servers, but this is an extraction shooter with everybody on the same servers. There is no Azshara or all of those other Wow, I'm showing my nerdiness right now. Or any of those other World of Warcraft servers. There are regional servers, and you're queued against people who just want to fight. And you're also queued against people who want to take it easy, and that division stirs a lot of argument, conflicts, and believe it or not, a huge reason on why people stop playing games is because of the people they're playing against. It's merely impossible for Arc Raiders to get back on their feet after all of this. It would take a huge update, which I just don't think they have it within them. Or at least have it within them to get into the right realm of update. Because no, the community does not want another Arc. The community wants balance. Of course we want more content, but you need to fix this game first. And the lack of updates and the lack of care, it can really feel as if the developers don't care, which is the biggest turnoff for game. That sounds interesting. It's the biggest turnoff for gamers when developers don't care. Look at World of Warcraft nowadays. Nobody plays that game anymore. So rest in peace, Arc Raiders. You were a genuinely fun game for the time that you were a game. So it appears I forgot to make an outro for the video, which is good. Good signs of a good YouTuber. So, is this when I coin a catchphrase? Is this when I make my thing, my quip, my catchphrase? I don't know, I'm nervous. Goodbye.